Hi and welcome to Giggles and Yarn, my crochet channel. This is Nelly from South Africa. Welkom by Giggles en Gare. Bienvenue à toutes et chacun. Welcome back to Giggles and Yarn, where we are busy crocheting this delightful party slipper, the Grinch. It can be for a Christmas party or it can be any novelty party slipper. We've done part 1 where we crocheted the base of the slipper, and now today in part 2 we're going to do the Christmas fur, the white fur around the slipper as well as the pom-pom. So let's get started. We're going to make our fur, and we're going to make it right in between this green and red. So where we started the previous time, right here in the middle, just in the same post where you made your front post double crochet, insert your hook there. We're still using a 6mm hook, and I'm using 4 strand of 4-ply white because that's what I have at the moment, but you can use a double strand, or if you have a white chunky, because we're going to just brush it at the end. So it doesn't really matter if you have just 1 strand of thick yarn or 4 strands of thin yarn. So now insert your hook under the post like that, and we're going to work in every post right around, and we're going to make single crochet loop stitches. Then we're going to cut the loop stitch and brush it to get our fur. There's fancy yarn that you can use for this, but I couldn't find any in our village, so I had to find a way to make fur, and it's real fun. So now bring up a loop and chain 1. Now into this next post, don't work this away because this is going to become part of the fur. Into this next post, insert your hook under it, and now we are going to take yarn from this strand, and we're going to take yarn from this strand here. We're going to take yarn from both. So now yarn over and grab this part of the yarn as well and pull both those strands through. Pull up 2 loops there. Now you've pulled up 2 loops, one of both sides of the yarn, and there are many other ways that you can make a loop stitch where you have to actually pull this loop first under this loop in the way that you pull them through, but for our purposes of just making the fur, it's not necessary. Now finish your single crochet the normal way by you're going to just yarn over and pull through all 3 loops as if you finished your single crochet. So now I can show you the other method in case you're interested. Let's go to our next post there. We insert our hook under it, and now yarn over from this side and yarn over from that side. Now turn your hook so this loop comes through alone. Then you don't bring 2 loops up. Yarn over, grab this yarn, and now turn your hook, bring that loop through alone like that. Now only 1 loop, and then finish your single crochet the normal way like that, and then you're going to pull tight. So there's your loop. There's your first loop in my method, and there's your second loop. It's another method I learned, but let's try my method again. If you want to, you can choose which method you want. End up with 3 loops on a hook or end up with 1 loop. So I'm going to try my way again, and this is going under our next post, yarn over this strand and pull up that one, and just simply come straight through with your hook and bring up both yarns and yarn over and pull through all 3 loops, and there's your loopy. It's tight and it's proper and it's effective for what we want to do. We just want to brush these loops at the end. I'm going to cut and brush, and therefore my method is sufficient, but it's up to you. I'll show you the other method again. You go under this next post, yarn over and grab that yarn as well. Twist your hook so that you bring only this loop through. Now you've got 2 loops on your hook, and finish your single crochet the normal way and pull tight. There, that's what your loopies look so far like so far. I'm going to try my method again, and then you can choose which one you want to use. Now, next stitch, go under the next post. I didn't go down too low. Under the next post, and now yarn over this side and grab that yarn as well, and just simply bring both of them through. 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3, and there you've got your next loop. Single crochet loop stitch. Continue making these loop stitches all the way around. When you get here, you pick up this loop as well, this 2 loops as well, like a cornice we made just now, and then you pick those 2 up as well. Let's continue and make those together until we get there. So whichever method is the fastest for you, just use that method. Okay. And through this next post. Now I've reached this corner stitch here. This is where my top starts, and here's my corner stitch, and I go underneath both these stitches here, and I make my loop stitch. I don't know if I can call my method a single crochet loop stitch because I end up with 3 loops on the hook. But it's kind of still, it's definitely nothing double. So now I've reached this first stitch of my top, and there's, it seems like 2 little stitches there, so I go underneath both, pull through and finish the stitch there. Now I simply go across here In each one make a single crochet loop stitch, and then come through here, make a loop stitches, and I'll meet you at the end. So in case you get to the end of the top and you're unsure about this corner stitch, you see what it looks like here? That red is over these stitches here. It's just where the corner came together. So now just make sure you put your hook in under the red here. So it seems like one wants to go in there but don't. Just come diagonally through and put your hook under those two little stitches there, and then you make your loop stitch. Grab both sides of the yarn and pull through again. Insert your hook diagonally, yarn over, pull through and pull through. Continue until the end. This is what your loop stitchy looks like all around there. And now I've reached the end here at the back, and this is the stitch where I attached my white yarn. So let's make a loop stitch into this last stitch here. Remember, it's those double stitches. It looks like two stitches there. That's where, yeah. Okay. So now insert your hook under those posts, that thick post, and then yarn over and yarn over and bring both through. 3 loopies on your hook and yarn over and pull through all 3. That's my method. You can choose the other method like I said. And now we're finished, and chain 1 and cut your yarn. You can cut it the same length as your loop so that we can also brush it there like that. Now all we're going to do is cut through every loop. Cut through all your loops. Cut through all the loops all the way around. So now I've cut through all the loops all the way around. That's what it looks like. And here is the strand that I ended off with. And here's the one I began with. So I'm just going to tie a knot here to make sure they don't come undone. And now I know that my white is just secured. And now we can start brushing our fur. So you can get a piece of cotton. I just cut a rough piece of cotton from a cereal box, and if you have a strong brush, I just disinfected this pet brush. So I'm going to use that. It's got nice bristles. So just, you can begin anywhere. Just take your white loopies like that and place it flat down and make sure you hold tight. And then I just use kind of like 20 strokes and see how that works. Okay, so now we're just going to brush. If you struggle to get in on the side here, I just use the corner of it, the corner part of my brush. Just really get in there. So because it's the Grinch, it doesn't matter if you have loose pieces like this or longer pieces, because if you can see the movie again, all these little fur thingies are all pointy and not uneven. So I'm just going to brush a little bit more there. So that's basically what it's going to look like. This is my original one that I've already finished. So I've just brushed and brushed and brushed my fur, and then we get the Grinch effect. So continue brushing your fur all the way around, and then we're gonna make the pom-pom. So for our pom-pom, let's take our white yarn and we'll just use our hand. So we can decide how big we want the pom-pom. For a big pom-pom, use this part of your hand, and for smaller ones, so we're just going to make a smaller one. So take your yarn with your thumb, hold it tight, and then just go around with your yarn. So I'm just going to make it pretty thick, but not big. So I've wounded it around 50 times, and now I'll just cut it, and then cut a long piece of yarn, extra yarn, and just put it down like that. And I'll take it off my fingers, put it in the middle of this piece of yarn, and just tie it tight, like double knot on this side, but make sure it's exactly in the middle, otherwise your pom-pom pieces are gonna differ. So tie a double knot this side, and you can go around and tie a double knot here. So don't cut off these pieces because you're going to use it to sew it onto the pointy toe part. Then just take your scissors, put it in there on the side, and cut. And cut on the other side. Just cut it. And as you go along, you'll probably find some pieces that are not cut, and just cut them. So now take your two tails here and shake. Just shake it. And because this is a kind of a Alvy, Grinchy, Christmassy thingy, we're not gonna make it smooth. Now let's sew on our pom-pom. Just thread your needle with the one side of the strand and insert it at the top of your like Christmas hat extension thingy for the ankle, and then also thread the other side. And just insert it on the other side, not in the same hole, and pull it through. And now just tie the two together. Tie it together like that. And again, double knot. And there's your pom-pom attached. Just now we're going to work away these tails. And now we have to brush our pom-pom as well, because we want this Grinchy effect like we have on our other slipper. And all you do is do it exactly the same way as we did before. We just put it down on your carton, piece of cardboard, and just brush. But now be careful, don't I try to keep little bits together like this so that I don't maybe hook all my pom-pom pieces out. Like, then I just hold some down like this, and then I hold another clump down. So I always keep my finger on the middle where they all tie together, just so that the whole thing doesn't come apart. Nice brush. Like that, and then I turn it and hold again there in the middle. Sure, we've worked hard. Hold and brush. So keep brushing until you've done your whole pom-pom. So there I've brushed my whole pom-pom. And you know, because it's the Grinch, it just stands up very wildly. And all my fur is done, and my face. So now all that remains is for me to work away my tails. And there are some tails here. And then I'm just going to take a little damp cloth and brush, wipe here, because there's a lot of fluff pieces here. And so just take your yarn needle and thread your tails into it. And now the white tail, I'm just going to work away into my Grinch pom-pom. So I'll just go in through another little hole here, like there, and in through the middle here, and out on the other side, and then I'll just go back through like that, and one more time I'll just go around like that, and last time maybe like that, just to secure it. Just go through the middle, and then I will just thread it one more time back to the middle. I could brush it as part of the Grinch pom-pom. Just going to cut it off like that, and then I'll brush it. I'll brush it to be part of the pom-pom. And then my red, just thread the needle with your red yarn, your red tail, and just weave it in here. Just weave it in like that, and weave it in like this. Pull it through, pull it tight and cut. And there you've worked away your tails, and we're going to brush this last piece together. Just brush your tail into the whole thingy. Voila, that's done. Until next time, tot volgende keer.